As long as a game is cheap, do you care where it comes from? Can you overlook if a game was stolen or that the developers themselves might not see a penny from it just to save a few quid? And exactly how bad must a game store's reputation be for you to consider not using it? G2A.com has been the subject of much controversy over the past few years. The most recent one was sparked over the weekend when Mike Rose, founder of indie game publisher No More Robots, tweeted about the store. In the latest episode of Fuck G2A, G2A has taken out sponsored ads on Google, which mean that when you search for our games, you get G2A popping up above our own links, and we make zero money on our games if people buy through the ads. The reason behind this disdain towards G2A is their dubious reputation. The grey marketplace has a reputation for enabling people to buy keys in bulk from other countries and sell them for a profit in more expensive territories. They also stand accused of enabling the sale of stolen keys, game keys which are purchased using stolen credit cards, and once the stolen cards are reported, the charges get reversed and the money is taken from the developers or publishers who sold the games. The developers don't get a penny from the transactions, yet still see their stolen keys available to buy on sites like G2A. Flambier's Rami Ismail took to Twitter to clarify the problem. If you can't afford or don't want to buy our games full price, please pirate them rather than buying them from a key reseller. These sites cost us so much potential dev time in customer service, investigating fake key requests, figuring out credit card chargebacks, and more. G2A themselves have always defended their practices, describing themselves as the eBay of digital games. Customers have the right to sell their products at the price they want to sell at, just like on eBay or any other marketplace, said Mario Mirek, G2A Senior Account Manager in 2017. It's in our best interest to make sure that the codes that appear on G2A have been acquired legitimately. Things like theft and chargebacks, it's not just our problem, it's the problem of any major marketplace. None of this is any consolation to the publishers and devs who reportedly do get stung by the store. They feel that they aren't seeing revenue which is due to them and would rather that you steal the game yourself than pay someone else for a key which was stolen. Mike Rose followed up his earlier tweet, please, if you're going to buy a game from G2A, just pirate it instead. Genuinely. Devs don't see a penny either way, so we'd much rather G2A didn't see money either. Descenders developer Rage Squid also chimed in, tweeting, please torrent our games instead of buying them on G2A. Purchasing a key from a key reseller is always a risky proposition. Risking that the key you buy is a dud or will not activate and that you won't get refunded is just a risk some gamers were willing to take in order to save a few pennies. But maybe it's a lot easier to pay a thief than become the thief yourself. And that's the problem, right? There is a risk associated with it. From the consumer's point of view, there's a risk of buying a game. It might be genuine, it might not be, it might be ripped off, it might be fake, it might not work, and G2A don't do a lot about that. They don't really care about that because they make money per transaction. If it doesn't activate, they're not known for their great customer service. In fact, you can buy insurance from them. I don't know if you still can, but you could do in the past. You can buy insurance from them just in case that it was a fake key and someone's selling you a dud. There's no protection there for the consumer or the devs. Like G2A just want to make their money, and they're allowed to operate as they are because they're not technically breaking the laws, because they're not the ones selling the games, it's other people, because it's like an eBay thing. But the problem with that is it's digital codes. It's all to do with, it's not physical stuff. Like on eBay, you send in physical stuff and then it appears on it or it doesn't. But with digital stuff, it's a lot easier to rip off, especially with stolen credit cards. So it's easier to launder money if you're a thief, buy a credit card, throw them into a load of game keys which get charged back, but then again you've still got these keys to be able to sell on places like G2A. But I don't know, it's one of them things. Where's the line of your morality? Would you rather become the thief yourself and listen to these game devs? Like, is that even an option? Would you rather steal the game than pay somebody who's probably stolen it for you, or just pay an extra couple of quid for a genuine, legitimate key, or like however much more it is?
One thing that keeps popping into my head is that old advert from like 10 years ago. It's like, you wouldn't steal a car, you wouldn't steal a handbag, why would you steal a movie? I'm like, no, maybe you should steal your game, because it's actually the better alternative. Less bad, more good, but still not quite perfect. It's a bit weird. It's a bit Robin Hood, really. You're stealing from the bad guys, because it's fine if it's them.
Yeah. And people shouldn't misinterpret this to mean that these devs are are validating piracy. They're not. They're saying this is the better of the two evils. Like, don't enable these people who pursue these dodgy practices and don't put money in their pockets when we're not seeing any of it anyway. Everyone's better off. The industry's better off if we just leave out this middleman, and you might as well just go and steal it yourself.
Yeah, you're either taking money out of our pockets or just not giving us any, and we'd rather that one. But now it's time for your favourite part of every news roundup. It's the news nuggets. Respawn, the developers behind Battle Royale sensation Apex Legends, have promised that the upcoming season will be way more rewarding. In a post to the EA official website, lead product manager Lee Horn said, "We hope the Battle Pass progression structure for Season 2 feels way more rewarding." The post also describes the addition of daily and weekly challenges that will also be coming with Season 2 when it goes live later today.
The development of a sequel to 2015's Western-themed space sim Rebel Galaxy is well underway. Developer Double Damage Games has posted another 8-minute gameplay demo from the upcoming Rebel Galaxy Outlaw to YouTube over the weekend. The game has no launch date as yet, but will be coming to the PC and PS4 and Switch upon release.
Last year's Ninokuni 2 was a smash hit with fans and critics, gaining an 84% on Metacritic when it launched in March. Well, it's time for fans to get excited because developer Level 5 has just announced that development on a third game in the franchise is already underway. Although it's still early on in the cycle and we don't have a ton of info on the game as of yet, but to tide you over until it arrives, Bandai Namco announced a remastered version of Ninokuni Wrath of the White Witch, which will be coming in September.
Despite being one of the biggest games on the release calendar, work on Cyberpunk 2077 doesn't seem to be stopping until way after launch. According to CD Projekt Red President Adam Kaczynski, speaking with Polish journal Bankia.pl, "We're working on 3 Cyberpunk things, the main game and 2 more." He confirmed that the next big project for the studio will be Cyberpunk related, as well as a multiplayer mode which is coming separately for Cyberpunk 2077.
Game consoles are for the filthy casuals. PC players are the master race, right? Apparently not, according to Sony chief executive Kenichiro Yoshida, who says that the PlayStation 5 is a niche product for hardcore gamers, with the emphasis being on the device's 8K resolutions and ray tracing. Sony also said that they're focusing their efforts on large-scale publishers and console-selling exclusives, rather than smaller-scale and indie projects, and still consider Microsoft to be their main competitor, not Nintendo.
Speaking of Nintendo, Super Mario Maker 2 has almost doubled the physical sales of the original and stole the top spot on the charts from Crash Team Racing. The game currently sits at 89 critic score and 9.1 user score on Metacritic, just above the original, which is at 88 critic and 8.8 user. It's been a good week for Nintendo altogether, with Breath of the Wild and Mario Odyssey climbing back into the top half of the charts, and Smash Ultimate sneaking back into the top 10 at the bottom.
Over the weekend, GTA 6 details were leaked on Reddit and seemed to show off a 1970s Narcos-inspired setting in South America. That sure sounds interesting. Be a shame if it was fake. Unfortunately, it looks like that is the case, according to PC Gamer, who are refuting the original poster's claims that they had sources inside PC Gamer itself, as well as Kotaku, with Jason Schreier also denying it.
According to Paradox Interactive's Frederick Wester, the 70-30 split offered to developers on most game marketplaces is outrageous. Speaking at GameLab, hosted by GamesIndustry.biz last week, the executive chairman of the board at Paradox said the model was established by Warner Brothers in the 70s for the distribution of VHS tapes. That was physical. It costs a lot of money. So there you have your gaming news nuggets for today. If you want to go check out anything that we've just mentioned, the links to all the stories are in the description of this video. It's time to do a joke.
So these jokes come in from our Bad Dad Jokes channel on our Discord, which you get access to if you become a Patreon over at patreon.com/prettygoodgaming, all for as little as $1. And this one comes in from Tons2112. If you've heard of Murphy's Law, which is that anything that can go wrong will go wrong, then have you heard of Cole's Law? It's thinly sliced cabbage. I think coleslaw's rubbish. Anytime it comes like with a burger or something, I'm like, what a waste. Like, it's just naff. Give me the actual carrots and cabbage and stuff. None of this. I don't like coleslaw.
Right, your food preferences aside, thanks for the joke, Tons, and much respect Keep the contributions coming.
The first official look at Netflix's adaptation of Andrei Sapkowski's books and CD Projekt Red's games of the Witcher series have finally been revealed. A while back, in October last year, we got a brief look at some test footage of Henry Cavill, best known for his work as Superman, in the iconic role. In true internet fashion, some people got pretty upset at the depiction of one of the most popular characters in recent gaming history. However, since the previous footage is just test material, it wasn't designed to represent the actual products. But these new images give us a much clearer look of what Cavill and Netflix's interpretation of the character will look like. Cavill's Geralt looks pretty close to what fans of the games should expect. He has the long white hair, yellow cat-like eyes, similar armor to his default set in The Wild Hunt, and a general scruffiness about him. He does seem to be missing some of his distinctive facial scars. However, based on a set photo posted by Cavill, he does still have some gruesome war wounds hidden under his armor. One major point of contention for many seems to be the lack of two swords. In the games, he has two swords on him at all times, one made of steel for human enemies and one made of silver for monsters and magical creatures. Twitter user Delix said, "Where's his second sword? This is already a flop." Many book fans have been quick to dispel these criticisms, stating that Geralt generally just uses the steel sword and leaves the silver one behind on his horse Roach, because over the years other witches have overhunted all the monsters, so there's not really many left. Some people are also upset that Geralt isn't sporting a beard, favouring just a little bit of stubble instead, but again, this is more book accurate and Geralt actually doesn't like having a beard. And besides, we all know how bad things can get when it comes to Henry Cavill's facial hair. His medallion also looks very different from the version seen in the game, opting for a more flat, coin-like design rather than the jagged wolf's head. In Witcher lore, the medallions are an important part of the journey to becoming a Witcher, with each one wearing a pendant according to the school where they trained. The show will actually be following Sapkowski's work in the books rather than the games, so expect several more differences to what you might expect. As well as the Butcher of Blaviken himself, we also get a look at Ciri and Yennefer, played by Freya Allan and Anya Charlotte respectively. When these castings were announced, they drew criticism, particularly for Charlotte, who comes from a British Indian background, because Yennefer is described in the books and shown in the games as having very pale skin contrasting with her jet black hair. One user called Mike on Twitter wasn't impressed with the recent pictures. Yennefer is supposed to have very fair skin contrasted against midnight black hair to physically demonstrate the duality of her character. So am I missing something? In addition to the images, we got accompanying descriptions of the characters, which were originally shared in February by showrunner Lauren Hissrich and are as follows. Geralt is stoic, circumspect, balanced, fierce, soft and squishy in a tiny place in his heart that he'll never reveal until maybe the end, and even then it will just be a hint, and yes, he only carries one sword until, wait for it, Ciri is resilient, relentless, brazen, growing, going to change the world, and what the hell is she supposed to do except be scared and bold and learn and adapt and find a family who can walk beside her no matter what and maybe, just maybe, teach her the meaning of love. Yennefer is fiery, proud, shrewd, contradictory, and seeking to fill a family-sized hole in her heart even though she resents it and swears she is just fine on her own, but she's not, and we love her for being both independent and vulnerable. I love seeing people get really upset about stuff when they're actually wrong. Where's the two swords? Where's he only got two swords? Like that SpongeBob meme. Actually, he generally only uses one. The other one's knocking about on his horse, so chill out.
Hashtag not my Geralt.
Not my Geralt. I can see where you're coming from with the Yen one, because she's a darker skin than usually, but when this stuff happens, I'm like, well, wait and see what they actually do with the character, because is it actually important to who she is that she's super pale?
Yeah.
Does it actually matter?
Yeah, I think that's what Lauren Hissrich's defense has been in the past when she was criticised for making it political, making it because Netflix are known to have these diverse casts in their shows, and mainly, for a political, just to tick boxes basically. So Lauren Hissrich's defense is, it doesn't matter what she looks like, really. Well, I'm surmising that's what she says. It's more about the character. You'll see with the character herself, and I don't know. I mean, I don't know what to expect from the show. I'm actually looking forward to seeing what they come up with.
It's going to fill that little Game of Thrones size hole in my life, which I'm hoping for.
I don't know if I'd go as far as to say that at this early stage.
I don't think it's going to be anywhere near that scale, but I want a bit of magic, bit of killing monsters.
I'm sure my missus will be on
bit of boobs
all over it. Yeah, and it shows as long as they show a few boobs, I'm on board.
Doesn't matter if those boobs are super pale or not.
Demonetized. Fuck.
The pictures of Henry Cavill as Geralt look so much better than they did in that old test footage, but everyone at the time was going bananas, like, oh, he looks terrible, his wig looks terrible, what's with the outfit and the makeup and stuff, blah blah blah. But it was test footage. So
Yeah.
you've got, like, the point of that is to see how he looks on camera with, like, lighting and stuff.
Yeah.
And then this is an actual, on-set official photo shoot type of thing. So this is a bit more reassuring.
I can kind of understand why people get upset about these things because, these franchises and these characters are maybe really close to the heart and they know them in a certain iteration, which is the game. Like, they know them from the game, and it's where they built their bond with these characters and stories and stuff. And to see them in a different incarnation like this, it can be. I can imagine the feelings. I can't imagine the reactions. Like, the reactions are somewhere overboard. Just learn to deal with your feelings, man. I mean, so many adults in this world acting like kids. Just grow the fuck up and deal with it. I say angrily.
When it comes down to, like, oh, not my Geralt. It's like, well, if you want your Geralt, you can go play the games. I'd much rather see a new version, slightly different take. It happens all the time in, like, superhero movies, in remakes and remasters and new everything. I'd rather see the new one because I've still got the old one. I can go do that.
Let people be creative. Let them make their own creations, and then you judge it based on what they've created, not how it looks. I don't know. Just our opinions.
Just gotta wait and see till it comes out. We still don't even think we've got a release date yet, but... So that's it from us for your Tuesday news roundup. If you want to follow up on any of the stories we've covered today, head on down to the description below to, find all the links. You know what to do. If you like what we've been making and you want to help us make it, go on over to patreon.com/prettygoodgaming. You get access to the Discord channel, as I already said, as well as early access to our podcast, which is all great, and that's all for just $1. It's so cheap. Make sure you let us know what you think about any of the stories we've covered down in the comments. Drop us a like, give us a subscribe, hit the bell. That's all the key YouTube words I think I need to say. Messed it up last time. That'll be it. Bye for now. Too far over. There we go.
You're gonna mess with the flow of it now. People are gonna be like, it's moved.
I'll put a swoosh. It'll be fine. A swoosh.
Continuity's out the window now.
Who cares?
Should we swap seats?
Continuity.
I know. My brain started saying it, and then I hadn't figured out what the word was yet. Continuity.